Tonight, we got a 70s montage. We got a little bit of Shaka Khan, and we also learned not to trust Artie. Stick around on the Stumptown After Show on AfterBuzz TV.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, yes, it is Wednesday, everyone. AfterBuzzers, welcome back. We are here for the Stumptown After Show on AfterBuzz TV, Episode 3. Rip City Dicks, rip City Dicks. Oh my gosh, I'm your host, Ollie Drennan, and I'm joined by my full panel. I'm so excited. We're all finally here. It's so amazing. We've got our special segment queen, Shay Jones, in the house. I'm so happy that you're back. How are you doing?
I am back, and I'm super excited. This episode was really good. And Michael Ealy's sexy
we're going to talk about it.
Everything in life.
We're going to talk about that for sure. And right next to Shay, we have LaToya Blakely. She is our news queen, so she's going to give us that good news, right? You got some news?
I have some good news.
Okay, good.
So I'm excited to share.
Good. I'm super excited to be back. Of course, I'm just like, nothing really special about me. I'm just like the lead host, and I love Kobe Smulders. Like, she's just a queen. And
sir, you're more than just lead host. This guy is amazing. He won't introduce himself, so I'm going to introduce you. I'm going to give you a title. He is the biggest Kobe Smulders fan ever in history. Mr. Ollie Drennan.
Oh, the applause. The studio audience is just applauding us tonight. Well,
he doesn't get to let himself off the hook that easy around here.
Thank you, Shay. Thank you just for being here, both of you. You guys are amazing. We also have a live chat. If anyone's tuning in live, that is awesome. Give us your questions, your comments, your theories about how the show is going. Any fans of the graphic novel Stumptown, which I'm super excited because I just ordered it. It's coming tomorrow. I ordered the first volume. So, guys, I got you. I'm a comic book fan. I need the actual physical copy.
He really does need it.
Yeah, so I need to do my homework to really appreciate the show even more than I already do. Without further ado, we can't get into our first topic because I want to know your guys' initial thoughts. What are you guys thinking right now? Episode 3 just wrapped.
Overall thoughts for this episode itself was now, she's actually working towards the goal of taking it seriously, of her being a private investigator. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's something she needs in her life. So I can't wait to see how much she grows. And Artie is a very big, nice enemy to actually come up against. And I'm really excited to see how that travels and traverses through the season.
Right. Totally. LaToya, what are you thinking?
I just think it was a really good episode. I think that Stumptown does a really good job of utilizing music. Like, music is obviously very big to this series. Mm-hmm. And it's all, like, every episode starts on a high note and with a lot of action. And so I appreciate that and all of the surprises that we get every episode. Mm-hmm. So I just thought it was a very, like, good, action-packed, surprise-filled episode.
Oh, my gosh. Yes, I keep wanting, like, I always want to just start off with our special segment. We're not going to. So you got to stick around to our special segment. So if you want to know the details, you got to stick around and watch the rest of the show or listen to us wherever you're getting your podcast. Because this show, stumps me so much. I am starting to predict certain things, and then it never turns out the way I'm thinking. And that's what I love about the show. And also, everyone on the cast is doing such a phenomenal job and just giving light to these characters. And I'm just totally here for it. I'm super excited that it's getting like all the good buzz and raves that it's getting. So why don't we get to our first topic? Because I just want to dive right into this. Because we got to talk about our new character, portrayed by Donald Logg. He is Artie, and he's going to be Dex's kind of like mentor, becoming a PI, because Dex, she needs, an apprenticeship. Yes. Am I saying that correctly? I had to ask them.
Apprenticeship.
I had to ask them before the show started. I'm like, so is this a word? Am I saying this correctly? And they were like, no, you're an idiot. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Dex's relationship kind of beforehand? I know there's kind of a twist, which we'll talk about more in depth, but how are you, taking this new character, Artie, and Dex kind of have to learn and kind of like prosper from his teachings?
My first thought when she went to him was her saying she needs 1,500 hours. First of all, why you need 1,500 hours?
To get certified.
No, I understand that, but I'm like, 1,500 hours is a long time. We're not like, I'm trying to figure out how many hours, like, I need to write it all down to figure out how many months or up to a year would that take me to actually have all those hours.
Right.
And
I'm trying to think too.
I was really trying to think of that as she was talking about it, because that actually means now, okay, she's serious about becoming a real PI. And I think she has not wanted anything serious or real in her life besides her relationship with Gray or her brother since what happened to her and Benny during her Marine days. So I think this is the first real thing for her.
Right.
So I like that. I like the fact that this is something tangible.
Right.
And she needs more tangibility and stability in her life.
And she's so used to doing things like on her own. And so there's not a whole lot of structure. It's more so what she's doing and, kind of following your own kind of path. Doesn't necessarily mean that there's structure, and like that also goes with relationships and how she isn't really structured with relationships, and certain people don't really have titles with her and Hoffman. But what are you thinking, LaToya, about Artie, and his whole deal with Dex in this episode?
Well, I really liked how Dex came in and sold herself. Like, Dex does not take no for an answer. She always has a plan, and she's always like adaptable. So if that plan doesn't go quite the way she thought it would, she's like quick to change it up. As need be. And so clearly Artie wasn't very excited about having her on board, but like I said, she doesn't take no for an answer, so she got him on board. And at first it seemed like it was going to be a good situation. Right. So
yeah,
that quickly changed. Well,
honestly, like I really enjoyed the relationship because it's episode 3, so we weren't really used to, or at least I wasn't used to seeing Dex partnered with someone who was kind of like her superior, her authoritative figure. And I remember she was having a conversation with Artie in the car, by the end of the episode, kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but like she doesn't even like to talk about her dad, which is, kind of like a superior. You think of your father as kind of like your superior authoritative figure, or your father, someone kind of above you, but you respect, like basically more or less you respect
like depending
that.
on the relationship.
Right. No, totally. What I mean is like fatherly figure or something like
yes.
that, as I'm trying to, communicate with you, but you're not getting, no. But it was so interesting to see that dynamic play out because we weren't used to that relationship. Whereas Dex, I feel like, is such a strong character and she's so authoritative herself. So it was cool to see her kind of have to learn from someone else and not rely solely on herself.
For me, it was interesting because they seem they're very two similar people. However, Dex, like he said, cares.
Right.
And obviously, he left his morals somewhere when he left the department. And some PIs are like that. They have no scruples about how they get their money and how they're going to make their money. And again, how what she did at the end with the $14,000 vase, this is not about it making me feel better, sir. This is just about me destroying something you cared about. Basically, because you're going to destroy another person's life and you don't seem to care. And then now I would want to know what broke Artie. Right. What situation, what event broke you that you became who you are now?
Right. Because I don't think he's necessarily a bad guy by any means. I think he's gray. I'll say he's gray. But that's what I love about the show. It's not black and white. There has to be something behind Artie's story because I think we learned in this episode that he was a part of the force at one point.
Right.
Hoffman knows who he is. And so clearly, Shay, what you said, there must be some kind of something that happened in his past that caused that disconnect to him to kind of like leave the law and kind of take the law into his own hands as becoming a PI.
Yeah. Well, this is only episode 3. So, we know a lot, but we don't know a lot. So I feel like there are a lot of assumptions that have been made about these characters.
As I'm doing right now.
I mean, clearly Artie, what we do know is that he was at one point a part of the police force.
Right.
Yes.
Something happens. We don't know what.
But nobody apparently, or at least Hoffman does not because he's younger. So maybe the older cops know.
Yeah, well, right. So I don't think Hoffman served at the same time that Artie served. He knows who he is. We've also learned that like Portland seems to be a pretty small town in terms of everyone knows what's happening in Portland. And so yeah, Artie was a police officer at some point. He's not anymore. We don't yet know why. Maybe he was a good cop, maybe he wasn't a good cop. Like we don't know that yet, but he's kind of gotten off track, and far off track.
You did mention that it's a small town, Portland. It's a great town. But also I'm wondering, this might be predictions, but I'm wondering if the lieutenant knows if she knows.
She definitely. She's
You know,
been around. She's been around that block of that police station.
She knows it like the back of her hand.
In the sense that
So I'd love
obviously
to-
because she's older than Hoffman too, so she probably was on the force along
Yeah.
with.
I would like to
Artie.
see if they have kind of like a past or some kind of dynamic, and I want to see them butt heads basically.
I love the
You want to
lieutenant
see
so
who
much.
butt heads?
Lieutenant, the
And
lieutenant.
and Artie. Okay.
That'd be dope.
All right.
No, another fight scene. But yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, based on the preview for next week's episode, it seems like Artie still has friends in the police force. So that will be interesting, right? For us to find out what really happened and what his relationship is to Lake officers.
I'm just looking forward to the shade. The shade that's going to be thrown next week because you already know it's coming.
Well, he said he has people in high place. He has clients and friends and connections that he has either cured or blackmailed,
Yeah.
or manipulated, tricked out
Right.
of people to get obviously the reaction or the outcome that he wanted. It's next week's gonna be a very interesting,
Right.
just PI experience versus amateur PI. I really think Dex somehow is gonna come out on top, but also why you calling him by my government name?
Oh my gosh, Dexedrine.
I mean, I understand why she'd call herself Dex. Legit, if my parents would have named me that, I would have legally changed it. But
Dexedrine.
like, I legit sound like I'm gonna put you to sleep.
Right. But yeah, I completely thank you for reminding everyone that hashtag Dexedrine is actually Dex's full name, her government name.
How do you? I want to know how you spell it.
Right? I don't even know what Dexedrine. Do you know what Dexedrine is, Latoya?
I don't, but he
No?
said something about generic cough medicine. So, yeah.
It's not our time.
Dexedrine, just so you guys know, is to treat ADHD and narcolepsy.
Oh.
Just
Okay.
so you guys know.
Thank you, Vito in the booth.
So it's to calm you and keep you awake.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. Which she does with her alcoholism. No. Well, before we kind of talk about, and that was not shade, I love Dex.
I'm like, wait a second. I like a drink after work. Does that mean I'm an
Girl,
alcoholic?
same. No, girl, same. I can't even throw shade
I didn't even
because
take it as shade so much. You're just like, but she handles her liquor well. So hey,
right.
It's just a beer.
A couple beers.
it's my last beer. I can't offer you anymore.
Dex is a full-on mood. I want to talk about the twist clearly, but we'll save that for a little bit later, so stay tuned. Before we get to our next topic, though, I just want to shout out the AfterBuzzers out there. Thank you so much for letting us be the ESPN of TV Talk. It means so much to us. We love chatting with you guys, giving us the comments, the likes, and the subscriptions. Subscribe to our channels. We're on the TV drama channel right now. We also have the sci-fi superheroes, one of my personal favorites. We have the animation channel. We have reality TV competitions, y'all. We have so much.
The
so
Masked
much.
Singer is so lit
Oh my
this
gosh, Shay
season.
goes off, right?
Shay loves it.
Shay loves it. And I know you're on the Politician After Show,
I am
right?
on the Politician After
See?
Show. It's such a good show. If you have not watched it, you definitely should and tune into our after show. But just if we're talking reality TV, 90 Day Fiance is amazing. And Love After Lockup.
See, so much content here on AfterBuzz. And until then, subscribe, like, share with your friends and family on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you know, all of the good social media
And
platforms.
5 stars on iTunes.
Oh my gosh, Shay, thank you. We would love and appreciate the 5-star reviews on iTunes. And also, you know what would be cool as hell? You know, tag, let the stars, the cast, the crew, everyone behind the Stumptown, tweet at them and let them know that the after show is where it's at for Stumptown. So until then, thank you for letting us be the ESPN of TV Talk. And why don't we get on to our next topic?
Let's do it.
Yeah, which is kind of the second biggest storyline in this episode, which was... It was a little heated, a little tension-filled, but I was here for it. It was Gray versus Hoffman, because that's literally they were kind of butting heads in this episode. You know, Gray is suspected by Hoffman to be Jack's killer. He didn't make it past episode 2, unfortunately, last week.
I mean, I could have told you with that gold tooth, it wasn't going to work.
That damn gold tooth, Shay. Oh my gosh. I was even saying that last week.
Yeah,
I'm like,
you
"A
were
gold
not
tooth.
a fan.
Do not trust anyone with a gold tooth. You heard it here. Facts. But what do you guys think about this? What do you think about the whole dynamic of them going back and forth in this episode? Because we haven't really seen a whole lot of interaction between these two characters yet.
I think these are two. Okay, I'll let you go first.
I was just gonna say, I feel like there was a lot of cat and mouse this episode, period. And there was a lot of like this character versus this character. Dex and Hoffman, not Dex and Hoffman, Hoffman and Gray. I just thought it was interesting because last week we talked about Dex kind of being like that common denominator between them and the possibility of a love triangle. So I was wondering if Hoffman was going to allow his feelings for Dex to kind of play into how he dealt with Gray.
Yeah.
Which he didn't. He kept it professional. But it was definitely an interesting moment.
Oh my gosh. I was kind of giving him the side eye, Hoffman, though, when he invited Dex over. Just to get information out of her, basically. Cooking her dinner, okay, great. But they didn't even end up eating dinner. Like, am I the only one that realized the food was still there, untouched?
I mean, as long as the other wasn't on and I got mine, I mean, I could be okay.
So would you have left without eating? I'm pretty sure I would have needed a plate.
I mean, I would have took I would have took a Tupperware container with me. I would have just grabbed it and then took it. I'm like, I will bring this back to you. We will reconvene.
As an excuse for another round is what that sounds like to me.
Okay, so I'm still going to talk about Michael Ealy's sexy voice. He got like deeper and then just like smoother. And he like, I was just like, yes, make the voice go deeper.
I mean, if we're going there, can we just talk about the way he did kind of seduce her? I mean,
absolutely.
It was kind of hot. He like definitely went for it and she was... there.
She was there.
And enjoying.
Right.
And allowed.
I think she wasn't like 100% there though, because she didn't stare into his eyes.
She just playing hard to get.
She knows she wants it though. I'm sorry, Dex. You want it. You want Hoffman. Let's be real. But I think it's kind of like a Medusa complex. If you look into his eyes, you're done. You're just
like you're gonna be stuck.
You give him everything. Whereas Dex kind of gave him like a 90%. I feel like.
The thing for me with Gray and Hoffman,
because she wasn't looking at him. She was just like,
true. The thing with me with Gray and Hoffman, though, I mean, obviously Dex is the common denominator, and obviously she has almost had similar experiences with both, except for she has slept with Hoffman now twice, and she only slept with Gray once. And I think Gray figured he'd get out of the friend zone eventually. And now here comes Hoffman, who has a different sort of chemistry than he has with Dex. And I feel like that's so off-putting to him.
But I think that Gray is so consumed with like the situation he's in that he hasn't even thought about like Dex and
before
Hoffman.
that, but now obviously with
like he is like, I'm trying to keep myself alive and like keep my business.
It sucks. I feel so bad.
Say something to Gray because like I legit feel like her antenna was like just wiggling as soon as she's just like, I just gotta go. Like, is it cool that you almost died? Okay, but I gotta go. I gotta get out of here.
He's like, I don't have time for this. Sorry.
Like my friend antenna would have just been like something. I'd have been like Miss like from the Madeline, and she was just always like something is not right.
What?
Oh, you've never seen Madeline? Madeline?
No.
Okay, so
I haven't either.
She's a French. So it's a boarding school in France, and this little girl named Madeline, and her teacher is nun. And she's always knows when something's not right or something is like wrong with the girls, and she'll wake up out of a dead sleep and just like something is not right with her figure like this, like thank you, that picture right there, and say something is not right.
Okay.
I mean,
I know what that is.
I love the live version, but yeah, it was an animation as well. And she's always like, something is not right. And then she'll just go to the girl's room and somebody be crying or an appendix needs to get taken out.
Gotcha.
It's like a whole thing.
Well, something is definitely not right because we're talking about Madeline.
Right?
When we should be talking about Dex and how amazing she is. No, but thank you for that.
Amazing.
Thank you for informing us who Madeline is.
Madeline.
I didn't know, now you do know.
Madeline. Okay, sorry, when I hear Madeline, I think of cookies because Madeline cookies.
Me too.
Right? Yes. Okay. Anyways, all we know. Moving on. We know that Gray just owes $500K to some bad people, and unfortunately, he couldn't join forces with Hoffman really because that might be even worse by joining forces with the police in their eyes, So he's just kind of in a really crappy situation. But I will say that Gray, even though he is not with Dex, as a romantic partner, it's almost like as if that's almost more important because like their relationship will never be tarnished because they are friends. Whereas, having a sexual kind of quote unquote romantic relationship with Hoffman, that could be easily broken. I just want to shout that out. Shout out to the friend zone. We love the friend zone here at AfterBuzz TV.
Ollie loves the friend zone.
The friend zone loves me.
I try to stay out of the friend zone. Though maybe I
right.
put people in the friend zone. Okay, anyway, going back to what you said. There was like a little ray of hope with Gray when the guy, I don't know the guy's name, maybe
Frank? Or
maybe it was Frank.
The
guy, the big guy.
Yeah, the middle man between Frank and
That guy.
Who said just make sure that your bar stays profitable.
Right.
So to me, that was a good sign. Like, we're not going to kill you. Keep doing what you're doing. Make us our money.
No, but I feel like even if he does end up still giving them $500K, they're gonna want more.
Maybe.
Right.
And
that's true.
And that's still. And now you're putting Dex's life, you're putting Ansel's life, and if Dex finds out you put Ansel's life in danger, oh, it's about to get real.
It's just kind of one of those situations. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. He doesn't know.
Right.
He doesn't. Yeah, I think Gray is right now at this point is just afraid of making the wrong decision.
But you're making. But you're still making the wrong decision.
I see where he's coming from, though.
I mean, what else do you do? Go to the cops?
Right. It's
And
like
then what?
I mean, look what happened to Jack. Jack's dead
because he ran.
I know, but he's still dead.
Well, he didn't have the money.
He didn't
so
even-
was in
Right.
trouble
He was
anyway.
kind of he's expendable, so they killed him to kind of make an example out of him for Gray.
He didn't serpentine.
You know? R.I.P. Jack, not really. So let's get on just to how the episode wrapped up. Running a little short, but that's fine, because I just want to save some news, or time for news, and your special segment. Okay. So let's just talk about how this episode wrapped up. I forgot to mention how the whole storyline with Candace and Randall, that was huge. That was the main reason why Artie and Dex were kind of working together, but we come to find out that Candace was married to Randall, and Randall started to kind of form a new exactly carbon copy relationship with another younger woman. Her name was Bree, and Bree and there's too many names. Bree and Candace meet up, and they kind of like console one another. They realize Randall is just kind of a dirtbag, and so Bree gives him the footage of the elevator and whatnot, and lo and behold, twist of the season by far. Artie is like the biggest con artist, and he ends up selling that footage of the elevator, which is showcases Randall beating Bree. He sells it back to Randall to make more money than he would have gotten from Candace. So what were your thoughts on the whole reveal and the revelation that Artie is just he's like a jerk?
Well, he's more than that.
I don't think there's even.
I felt so bad. Candace is a single mom.
And she will lose her kid, a kid that Randall doesn't even want.
Right.
Like you didn't want her to be born, so in my mind, why do you care?
And that was the biggest thing, right? So like we find out that basically their relationship came to an end or imploded because she got pregnant. And so what you said, like he doesn't even want this kid, but you're going to fight her for the kid. To me, it's all about control, which is what everything apparently this guy's about. Like saving face, making money, and controlling.
He's aggressive.
And
he's
the way
violent.
he slapped Bree, I'm like, I'm sorry.
He didn't slap. He punched her.
Okay,
It looked like he punched her.
For me and you, because she's also our color, I was just like, what is... Girl, that was a sign to get out. Like, you didn't see what's got to do with it. I'm going to need you to have left. You only gonna hit me once, because then I go to jail for murder.
I was a little surprised that she was like, you want me to rat out my boyfriend? And then we find out what he done to her? Like, girl, come on.
She's in love with, like, I think she's in love with the money.
The
she's in love with...
I feel like she's in love with the idea of love, with the...
Going to Rome.
The betrayal.
He's also good looking. Like, he was good looking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe not.
Maybe I like older men.
Yeah. I was gonna say for an older man, he's a fox. Cool. However, and I think this is my issue with that. Her saying, you want me to give out on my boyfriend. If he's hit you once, he will hit you again. That's just plain blank simple. He might be apologetic about it. He might, give you a gift to try to say, and I'm sorry, it'll never happen again, but it will always happen again because they can't help it.
And I think I like that you brought that up, because a big theme in this episode that was brought up by Artie, I think, is that people don't change. They kind of like...
They shift,
but they don't change. And so Randall ain't ever going to change, for sure, because he beat Candace, and he's showing signs of beating Bree, as shown by the clip.
And that brings up a good point. I don't know if the two of you realize this, but one of the themes that I saw in this episode was the power struggle between men and women. And specifically, I think it was Dex that called out white men.
Right.
And so this episode really did showcase how men are in powerful positions and often manipulate the system to kind of get what they want and to keep that position. But I like how at the very end, Dex was like, no.
Right.
Like, I will not be defeated. And so, it's the rise of the woman and women working hard to, like, take our places, not earn our places. We've already earned them, but, like, take them.
Issa Rae did a quote where she says, "Black women aren't bitter. They're just tired of settling for less than they deserve."
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, can I get an amen? Which is just true, and that's not even just for Black women. That's for any woman in a position who's felt that way. We're not bitter. We're not trying to be bossy or be quote unquote bitchy. We're trying to show you that we're smart, we're intelligent, and we deserve our place. We still make 40 to under 50 cents less than a man, and for what? And for the same job that I'm probably even more qualified for. It makes no sense to me. Isn't that quiet?
No, I was waiting for the mic drop.
Oh, mic drop.
No, I love it, Shay. Like, I can just, like, listen
I was like,
to
wait,
you.
did I do it wrong?
No, like, what am I supposed to say to that? Like, all I can say is that, like, preach.
Sometimes a very good show, it's very entertaining, but there are definitely like some relevant and current themes running in. And so for all of our viewers out there, while you're watching and enjoying, keep a lookout for those themes and let us know what you think.
Yeah, give us in the comments, the DMs, the Twitters, and whatnot, Instagrams.
Another quick thing before I know you want to get the special segment and everything is, I know, sorry. Only because you mentioned it, was also that women who have suffered abuse are survivors. They are warriors. And it's like, let's show them that we're survivors and warriors. We're not taking it anymore. I think that was a very awesome message too for just girl power.
Yeah. And you saw that with Bree and Candace. They're the survivors. And also Dex is a survivor too because of the PTSD that she's going through. And we even saw it happen in this episode when they were getting shot at. And I loved, like... I think the episode started to end like kind of like at a bitter note, but then I love the "I've Got the Power" song, and then she rushes into Candace's house, and there's something like we're gonna see Candace again.
Yeah,
I'll save it for predictions. I'll save it for predictions. But I love that it ended on like that bittersweet note. It's like, oh, but like no, she's gonna fight this. She's gonna fight the men. She's gonna avenge Candace basically and take down Artie. So I'm super excited.
Yeah,
I love Dex's car so much. It might be a piece of crap, but I love I love the Universal music playlist. Okay.
I'm excited for next week to see what the playlist also holds. But we're short on time, so why don't we just get to news right now? AfterBuzz TV News. All right, LaToya, what do you got for us this week?
I had some good news this week. Stumptown has more than doubled its views since its premiere, and it has added over 4.5 million viewers. So keep tuning in, keep chatting with us on our after show at AfterBuzz. Keep messaging on Instagram, Twitter.
Hashtag Stumptown.
All of that.
Hashtag Stumptown ABTV.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or ABTV Stumptown. Yeah.
The show's really fun to talk about too. And just like
fun.
predict
it's
and
good
whatnot.
to watch.
Stay tuned for predictions. But that's amazing. That's so cool. Like when you told me that, I was thinking to myself, are you serious? That's amazing because I'm in love with the show right now. Everyone on the cast, Michael, Kobe, Cameron, they're totally embodying these characters, and I just want to know more about their backstories.
It's also showing Hollywood and the industry that female lead-driven shows are profitable, and why we need more of them. And Stumptown
breaking the glass ceiling.
That glass ceiling's broken in a way that Veronica Mars did, but Stumptown in a very adult way. So I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. You know what I also appreciate? Our special segment presented by Shay.
Okay, guys. So our special segment is You Just Got Stumped. So how this works is we're each going to give you something that stumped us that we weren't expecting this episode, that just really stuck with us. We just couldn't get over it. So I'm going to start with Miss LaToya.
Yay! The shooting out of the back windshield.
Oh.
Like, that came out of nowhere, right? Like, I was like, what is this? And then their reactions. That's when we found out that Dex has PTSD, and Artie thought it was funny. Like, who laughs at being shot at?
Somebody who's been in it a while.
It was pretty sad. I felt bad.
I think it's a verse like where she freaks out. Granted, you were in Afghanistan and stuff, so the bombs. But in his case, he's been dodging bullets and everything probably since the 80s.
Second nature to him.
I don't know if that would ever get funny though.
I feel like if you don't laugh, you cry. So I don't know.
Well, also
He went full on Joker a little bit.
that character turned out to be very instrumental.
Very true.
So, but that was an unexpected thing for me. So that stumped
Yeah,
me.
that was a good one. That was a very good one.
Mr. Oliver.
Oh, me? Put on the spot. Well, I would say my first instinct is to be like, oh yeah, the revelation with Artie's true like disposition of like, you know, manipulating everyone. But I want to say actually Sue Lin coming to
Dex's house.
Dex's house, because I wasn't expecting to see her. I don't think she was in the last episode, but come to find out that she is friends with Randall. So I'm thinking, oh great, Dex has another person against her. She has Randall, she has Artie, and Sue Lin.
She's
I'm
always
thinking
had
Sue Lin,
technically.
I know, but like just on top of the case, and you know, Dex just has to fight everyone, let alone another woman too. Great, let's put women against each other because of the fact that Randall is already like being such a horrible person. So I was like really bummed out that Sue Lin is just another antagonist for Dex at this point. So yeah, that was my stump moment.
My stump moment was when we found out he actually was selling the video to Randall, and I was just like, what kind of twist is this? I couldn't believe it. I actually was stunned by that. I wasn't expecting it. And also the video with Bree and Randall in the elevator.
That was violent.
I'm gonna have nightmares for that one because that was crazy. But that, guys, was just you just got stumped.
Ouch. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for the news, LaToya.
Yeah,
and
for
thank you for the
sure.
special segment. Look forward to it every single week. And let us know what you thought, what your stump moment was each week, because we want to know, because there's plenty of stump moments for sure. But until then, why don't we get to predictions?
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right. Who wants to go first? Don't look at me, please. Shay's like, go first always.
Shay, what do you think?
My prediction for next week is definitely about to get messy. PI versus PI. We're going to figure out just how well Gray can also keep Dex from learning about the money he owes, about his actual past. Because I think she knows about the robbing, but I don't think she actually knows in depth the situation. And that actually he had money stored away as well. So that's what I predict.
Well, I actually wouldn't be surprised if Gray was honest with Dex and like told her kind of what the situation is. And like you said, like I'm interested to just see what happens with Dex and Artie. It's gonna heat up and it's gonna get good.
Yes.
And I'm always down to see some more Dex and Detective
Hoffman?
Hoffman. So, you know.
Or just maybe just Hoffman. No. Okay, well, I'm thinking, okay, I just have to say this because Dex gave me, okay, I'm just going to say this right now. It's not spoilers, a little spoilers. Dex in the comic books is actually a bisexual character.
Okay.
And to me, she was giving me like some interest in this episode about Candace a little bit. So I'm wondering if she's going to like, I don't know how big.
Spoiler alert.
Well, no, technically.
I don't know. Let me just finish. I don't know if Candace is going to be a bigger character, but I felt like, did you get that vibe? It felt like she was interested in Candace, like when she was at the beginning of the episode. Did anyone catch that?
I did not catch that.
I did not catch that, but she did mention how she did date a girl prior in episode 2.
Did she? I missed that.
Yeah, I missed that too.
Well, if anyone's unaware, Dex.
I thought she said it and not Gray.
Oh my
I
gosh.
could have sworn she said it.
Okay, well.
I feel like it was like just thrown in. That's why.
Okay.
We can't-
I just wanted to clarify that
Okay.
Dex is a bisexual character in the comics. I'm not sure if it 100% is confirmed in the TV show, but maybe according to Shay it is. I'd have to go back and watch
Yeah, I
it.
have to go
But I
back
just
and watch
wanted to shout that out. Maybe we're going to see a same-sex relationship, possibly, if things don't work out with Hoffman or Gray. So we will see for episode 4. But until then, thank you guys so much for joining us for the episode 3 after show of Stumptown. It was such a pleasure. Where can I find my amazing panel on social media?
You guys can find me at Real Shay Jones on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me at the Sorry for Your Loss after show about the amazing Elizabeth Olsen on 7:30
Yes.
at Tuesday night.
We love her.
Nice.
She kills it.
I am at LaToya Blakely on Instagram and Twitter, and I'm also on the Politician After Show. Check us out.
Yes, and I'm Ollie Drennan. You can find me on all social media platforms at Ollie Dreamer, and check me out on the AHS After Show starting like right now. Until then, guys, we will see you next week for Stumptown. Bye.
Bye. See you later.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.